All right, so here's how I think we should run it as far as the revolution is concerned, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to have revolution orientation, and that's what this is. It's to get us oriented in the right direction. Sounds impossible, I know, but watch. Look, we have to do this, okay? So this is what the plan's going to be. The reason we have to, because the evil guys, they just cannot win, right? Call it whatever you want to, but they can't win. We got to win, so we got to have a plan. This revolution has got to be a from the ground up, right? And I got a great idea how we can start that. Okay, so the steps are this. I'm going to elucidate what power really is, okay? So, but to do that, I need people to stretch their minds, right? Because the stuff I'm going to say is stuff everybody already knows. I didn't make this stuff up, right? But as I've said in different videos, I kind of look at it like if America were to come to me and say, what should we do? Like if I'm America's attorney, natural law attorney, there's going to be some stuff we got to tend to, right? And it all has to do with choices and philosophy and all that type of stuff, right? I mean, that's basically kind of we need a guiding light, right? So in this situation, the reason why the bad guys can mess with you is because you signed the contract to let them do that to you. Now, I know you said, no, I didn't. I didn't sign the contract, but from your actions, apparently you have, okay? It doesn't matter what you know, because not knowing is not an excuse. Natural law doesn't care. And there's a reason for that. And we'll talk about what that means. All right. Now, everybody talks about power. Okay, right? Power is a combination of two things. You can even quantify them. Power is a combination of knowledge and love, right? And the opposite way of that is ignorance and fear. That's what the opposite of that is, and that's what the media's actual job is. Nobody paid anybody. You didn't pay Jake Tapper. You didn't pay. I don't even know those people's names. Rachel Maddow. You didn't pay her to bring you the truth, did you? So she doesn't owe you shit. That system doesn't owe you anything, and it is incredible. And people see it. More and more people are noticing it. That it is the stupidest thing to even waste your time listening to Anderson Cooper. You may as well like shovel sand or some shit like that, right? It's the stupidest thing. But yet people have signed on to the contract and agreed to look at that as if it's somebody that gives a fuck about you. I mean, that is just crazy. You got people out here bitching about capitalists, but yet they're completely captured by the capitalist mind games. It's not a good look. So essentially, these sophisticated people take advantage of our dumb asses. Because, if you look at the information that's made available to us, our shitty ass schools and our lying ass media, how the fuck you supposed to know anything in the first place? So of course we don't know shit. Of course we're vulnerable to being fucked with their psychological mind games. Of course we are. And we gotta realize we got a problem. And this is a way of giving away our power in the form of knowledge. Okay? Seek and ye shall find. But instead we say, oh, no, I trust these capitalists over here. As long as I watch their TV, I'll know what's going on. They'll tell me because they owe me. I don't know why, but I'm just going, all right, whatever. It's stupid. So a lot of us got to admit, yeah, damn, what the hell was I thinking? Why did I think these people? Because a lot of people find that out over time, right? And you get to a point where you realize that all you're being told is lies. You do a little bit of digging, but you got shit to do. You ain't got time to do fucking research on everything, right? And that's the thing, too. Some people really, really want to know. A lot of people don't give a fuck. The amount of people that really, really, really want to know and do some research, well, they do. And pretty much they come up with the same conclusions in general. I mean, like, there's a lot of stuff going on. This is a little farm, and this is why he wrote the book, because they do intentionally, very well intentionally, keep this like a farm, all right? And we are all the product. What these people do is they use our energy and all that, say, esoteric stuff you hear about. Well, that stuff is very, 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 very real. Very real. A lot of times it's because it's within accordance to, natural law. Look, there's people around here talking about like manifesting what they want. People talking about law of attraction and all that, right? Well, all that is natural law-based stuff. By the way, one of the reasons why people aren't able to effectively manifest is because of low power. They don't know them. They don't know how the world works. They don't know how their insights work. And more than likely not, they see themselves as a label, right? Like a whatever, a Republican or a Democrat or a socialist, doesn't matter what it is. As long as they give themselves a label, what they've then done is create division. You other people. You're not me. I'm at this. Ooh, check me out. I'm so cool. I'm a fucking whatever, group B, D. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's got a name. That's the most important thing. So you get where I'm coming from, right? So this is hidden knowledge being made like, I'm trying to make it like easy to capture. The power is love and knowledge together. On a scale, you could say knowledge is just 0 to 10, but on a love aspect, make it -5 through 5 or something like that, or negative, whatever. You gotta have a negative, right? Anyhow, you could even probably write, program for it. Everybody can evaluate their own self. Doesn't matter. It's not a little judging thing, right? So like, look, on the knowledge aspect of it, you either want to know or you don't want to know, right? So like, by watching the media, that means you really don't want to know. Or, yeah, you really don't want to know. And then say like, maybe you don't watch the news at all and you don't care. And that's like the, lowest you can go. See it that way. As far as love is concerned. Same thing, right? Now, I know a lot of people think, and I say this all the time and I'll say it again, the opposite of love is actually fear, okay? Fear begets what they call hate. You don't hate nobody, you don't fear. Look how they do with Donald Trump. That's what the media's job is there. They're there right now to keep a certain part of the population in this controlled fear state. They are doing a really good job. I mean, look, the way I look at this, and it's true, and I make the argument, we are acting like suckers, okay? This is the situation. We look bad. We don't look good right now. Why? Because we've all agreed to give our power away. We don't even talk to each other. So this is what I'm talking about. As far as knowledge and love, I like the fact that everybody's learning. And that's cool. Personally, I think we should put together our own institution of actual knowledge that's free from millionaire funding. Like, don't even, if you got over $1 million, we got to cut you off. We got to have cut off somewhere, right? It has to be from the people, right? And it would be really easy to do. If you ask me, I would ask like high schoolers and young college kids, hey, put together a news organization. Based on what? You know what? How about this? Based on what everybody wants to know about. God, it just seems so easy. Problem with that is the stuff that, disclosure is what this is coming to, right? And luckily for us, there's a process talking about disclosure. Because when you're talking about learning stuff, there's a lot to learn. And it's going to be a lot for people to process. There's a lot going on. I mean, just put it this point, call me a conspiracy theorist, right? Okay, sure, yeah. But I also know that the term is being weaponized against people who are looking into stuff. So that when you bring up something like that, people go, oh, this person must be crazy. They think that aliens real. Jesus Christ. They did a good job at programming the public. So, in general, it is your job. It is not anybody else's job to make sure you get power. It's your job to stay united. I mean, for heaven's sake, it seems so obvious that these people's main goal is to play Republicans against the Democrats like it's a fucking game. Okay? That's intentional. This is the dumbest thing. It's not a good look, folks. This is sophisticated people taking advantage of unsophisticated people. And for the unsophisticated person, well, that's their fault. And it actually is their fault. They chose to remain unsophisticated. Okay, they chose to commit sin. What's the 7 deadly sins? All of them. All of them. The ones they use to take advantage of people is pride, right? And that's, so essentially right, if you sin and you're so prideful of your identity, it will be used against you. Anytime that you do a division thing and put yourself a label on it and you allow yourself to be prideful about your dumb man-made constructed label, that opens the door for them to get in there and take advantage of you. That's how it works. Does that make sense? Pretty straightforward, right? They take advantage of you by saying, oh my God, the other person who's not you is coming to eat your lunch. It's coming to rape your women. It's coming to burn your home down. Well, we're going to have to get involved and save these people over here who are very frightened and let them know what the answer is to their anxiety. And then we'll present it as if we know what we're talking about, and they'll believe it. Yeah, that's the answer. Give us more. We'll take our money, take our freedoms. I mean, it's so pathetic to watch. So everybody who is subject to that whole game. By the way, this is no shit. This is, okay, you know how I talked about power, right? How it's knowledge and love? Okay, right. Guess what that is? This is knowledge, heart is love. These two, both the heart and the mind, vibrate around us in frequencies, right? It's probably the basis of telepathy, people. It's a real thing, like our bioenergetic field. It's a real deal. We got to acknowledge that, right? You got one, everybody's got one. Anyhow, my point being is that that's where the power is. You understand? Like your light. If you were pursuing knowledge and pursuing love, say, understanding and unity, your light gets bigger, Feel me? That's how it works. Got it? So the bad guys, they know that they have to keep you dim. Let's keep these motherfuckers stupid. Let's keep these motherfuckers hating each other. That's what the media is for. Period. End of story. And it's y'all dumbasses. Okay, our dumbasses fault for letting ourselves be in bullshit like that. How the fuck does anybody think these people owe anybody? I have no idea. I got no idea. And it's really bothers me sometimes. COVID was a real nightmare for me. I had to sit back and watch everybody get fucked over and lied to. You take a position and, because people, when, Matthias Desmond, that guy, right? I found him once because I almost said I knew what was going on. I know a psychological operation when I see one. It's not too hard to spot. But, as like some people tell you, I'm just one of those guys that claims to pay attention to what's going on. And you know what? I have been paying attention to what the hell has been actually going on. You damn straight. When you try to tell people, they don't want to listen, right? They be like, I don't have time to look and all that stuff. Well, don't look into it. Just believe me when I tell you, because I fucking know. It's not just me because I'm so smart or whatever. It's because I want to know. You understand? I don't feel like, or anybody that has spent as much time seeking understanding, well, I'll tell you, it has nothing to do with us feeling smarter than anybody. It only has to do with we realize we want to know. And when you want to know, you actually work to find some shit out. That means you are increasing in knowledge. And there's like an inside and an outside to both knowledge and love. Each applies. Know the world around you and then know the world inside you. Love the world outside of you, on you, just everything. And then love the world inside of you. See how it works? So that's the guiding light, and it's irrefutable. I didn't make it up. All I'm doing is providing a simple, formula to assessing power. So in engineering, where I come from, you start with a goal, right? What do I want here? Well, I want to get from point A to point B. And then you start formulating a plan. Okay, I'm going to get from point A to point B. And, point A and point B need to be really well defined, if you ask me. And for me, point B is pretty simple, right? I remember when I was a kid, I used to think that the government's job was to make everybody happy, because that seemed like that would justify all the hoopla. I don't know. And then you realize it's just some fucking whatever. So yeah, I still say that's the end goal, is for everybody to feel happy. I mean, what other? So to me, that's the golden model. That's that's the end all be all. And I do believe that's pretty easy to get. And I'm basing that on the amount of energy that we have to potentially use to get whatever the fuck we want. See, that's the big secret. This bioenergetic, interdimensional thing I'm talking about, that's a big deal. You can use that shit to actually do whatever the fuck you want to do. Okay? It's just true. And people don't understand the power of love and knowledge. I mean, it's deep. Because in this structure, this matrix shit they got for us, right? You're not supposed to know these things. See, you're not supposed to know these things. This is the esoteric knowledge. So that's why yeah, the people who understand these things, which is a lot of people you probably see on TV and stuff. This is the way their, secret societies and stuff. This is how they think. And them secret societies run everything. Them secret societies are the backbone of all this bullshit that you see. They are the ones, you know, at the farmhouse. Actually, they're not even at the farmhouse. They're few miles into town at the commercial building. That's where they are. Those are the ones that actually control the farmer guy on how to use the energy that's being extracted from the farm. That's a good way to look at it. I like that. Anyhow, so it's not too hard to walk off the farm. That's what the movie The Matrix is all about. You got to choose red pill or blue pill. If you notice the aspect of love in that movie too, right? Look, I understand people say, well, this is your opinion. And I say, okay, well, good luck with that. Because it's just not my opinion. This is universal law. And if we want what we say we want, we're going to have to be serious, right? Up our game and understand the playing field. Understand who the real enemy is and understand their methods, okay? This is part of raising our games. And a lot of us already know this stuff. We have enough resources and knowledge and understanding to put together a real revolution. The success of this revolution has to primarily start from within, right? So on to the love aspect. This is an easy one if you ask me. This is an easy one. So one of the expressions of love is unity, empathy, right? You care about how the other person thinks. So I think we can make it a fun thing, right? This fun thing is going to be called the love challenge, right? I am challenging left-wingers and conservative right-wingers and Democrats to make videos expressing love for each other. Now I know this may sound like there's no way a liberal would ever do that because they hate everybody so much. Well, that's why it's called a challenge. I do believe it's going to be much easier for middle of the road people like me and conservatives to do this because we know you are not our enemy. Or I shouldn't say everybody knows that, but I think a lot of people can get behind it a lot easier. I mean, people in the media are showing that, right? Like these left-wing outlets. Yeah, I saw this movie about communism, and it was just like that. You are just not supposed to talk about that. That's some fucked up shit. I mean, how if you are going to play this left against right machine, how the hell you think you're going to win? And that's because it's not the purpose of it is to win. That's what you think the purpose of it. The purpose of it actually is to just make us more divided, which it worked. And they still got these people in some type of hating trend. This TDS thing is more real than people actually understand. Maybe a lot of people do, but it's a trip, isn't it? It is a trip. All right, so